Could you be at risk for bringing bed bugs into your home? Do you know what happens if you're bitten by a bed bug? And could this dog be the answer to finding these nasty little critters? It's Your Call examines the national bed bug outbreak right now. It's hard to believe that these little bugs could be responsible for so much havoc, but it's true. These are bed bugs, and the country is seeing an infestation of them. They are everywhere. They're in hotel rooms, in movie theaters, in apartments and homes, in college dorms. They're in your bed and on your bodies. But are they just really yucky, or could they be really dangerous? Let's find out. Hi there, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lynn Doyle, along with Jeffrey White, who is an entomologist and a national bed bug expert who's here to answer all of your questions and mine about bed bugs. Jeff, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so these are the nasty little critters that are getting so much attention.
As little as they are, they're becoming this national almost hysteria. So yes, there they are.
So what is it about bed bugs that has caused a national panic?
Basically, you have these infesting homes and people's beds, which is a sanctuary to people. And, they're coming out of the box spring and the walls to feed on them, and that's just creepy.
Where did they come from? I mean, I used to hear that expression when I was little, don't let the bed bugs bite, but I never ever saw a bed bug. How come today in 2010 we have these things? Yeah,
there's a lot of different reasons we can look at, a lack of public awareness, people not being aware that they're making a comeback and how to avoid them, and then also not having the same pesticides we had back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Our homes aren't, let's say, protected the way they used to be, and so that's the opportunity for them to start showing up.
I like the way you use that term, a comeback. It's not the way I would normally think about it, but it certainly is applicable to this. Now, we've heard that in big cities, particularly New York, that they're really seeing an infestation, but are you seeing bed bugs all across the country?
Absolutely. It's not just about cities. They can be in rural communities. Alaska is reporting a huge increase, and it doesn't get any more rural than Alaska.
No.
So, I mean, it's not just about cities. They can be anywhere.
Okay, what are we looking at here?
That is the spotting, and those are the bugs. The spotting and bugs are what you need to be familiar with in order to do a good inspection. You want to know what the bugs look like, and then as disgusting as it is, we're looking for the fecal droppings, the actual dried black liquid on the surface they're sitting on.
How do we tell that this is a bed bug and not just a tick or a flea or any number of the thousands of insects that are out there?
You should leave the actual identification up to experts. So if you do collect something, you want to get it to a knowledgeable expert. But they look a lot like ticks, and so if you're finding ticks in your house, which is where you don't typically find them, you definitely want to get that identified.
Ooh, and these are the bites. And with the number of bed bugs being reported, there are unprecedented numbers of bites being reported as well. So if you do have them and you do get bitten, should you panic? Well, we're going to pose that question to our favorite Dr. Rob Danoff. He is the program director of family practice at Area Health. He's also the medical correspondent for Discovery Health Online at discovery.com. He's been the It's Your Call medical resident expert for more than a decade. Rob, good to have you back with us.
Great to be here, Lynn. Thanks.
So you just heard me use that old expression, don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah.
Is it because they're dangerous?
Because they're really annoying, and fortunately they have not been linked to any serious infections caused by the bed bugs. However, imagine going to bed at night and waking up with these little bites or welts or hives, and so what happens is they're so itchy, people scratch them, and besides looking not so good, you can sometimes get skin infections after this. So it's really something that we're concerned about. People think they're safe when they go to bed and they wake up, it's like, oh. So it's not so good. We're trying to really help people now.
How do you know that it's a bed bug bite and not something like fleas or, as Jeff said, a tick or even just good old-fashioned poison ivy?
That's a great point. A lot of times we don't. Sometimes people come with one or two little welts, and I'm not sure. Could it be? Many times I can tell you they think it's a mosquito bite, and we think that too. But sometimes there's groups of bites, and they'll say, you know what, doc? Every time I go to bed, when I get up the next day, there's more of them. And that's one of our clues. Hey, I know mosquitoes aren't feeding on you in the middle of the night under your covers in your house unless it's open to the outside. So then we start looking, and we know that bed bugs are around, so it's like searching for a source.
Okay, so how do you treat them if in fact you determine that they are bed bugs?
The first thing we do is really help with the symptoms. If someone comes in with a lot of itching, we might give certain types of creams or antihistamines. And then if there is a skin infection, then we'll treat that.
Okay.
The main thing is trying to identify what they are and then taking measures to get rid of the bed bugs, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, and that I know Jeff can attest to that.
Yeah.
Once you are infested, is it easy to get rid of them, or is this going to be a long process?
You can get rid of bed bugs, and that's a big misconception people have. They think once they get these, you know, you'll never be able to get rid of them. You can, but it is a long process sometimes, and it can be very involved and unfortunately also expensive.
Okay, you have a variety of things here that you brought that are examples of ways that you can treat bed bugs. And these things are like mesmerizing. I can't take my eyes off of them. What's the most popular means that you've learned?
Well, yeah, one of the most popular things we have here are these climb-up insect interceptors. What these are is you put the leg of your bed or couch in this center well, and as the bugs travel to and from the bed to unfortunately feed on the person sleeping in it, they can actually fall in this outer well and they can't get out.
So is it true that they can't climb up something that's smooth?
So certain smooth surfaces, like the Tupperware container these bugs are in, that's a surface they can't climb.
You don't know how much I'm trusting that you know what you're talking about there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you put these, the leg of the furniture there, and it keeps them from climbing up.
Absolutely, and they get stuck in there and they can't get out.
What else might
we also
might be
have
popular?
bed encasements down here at the end.
Okay.
Encasements are a very popular thing you can put on your mattress and box spring, and it helps you detect the infestation early on, which will hopefully save you money in the long haul.
Would you recommend that everyone have these, even if you haven't had an experience with bed bugs yet?
Absolutely. If you're a business traveler or even a personal leisure traveler, you know, you could bring these home from someplace, and if you have these in your home, it will help you identify it sooner.
So if you need to leave this behind, it's okay.
Got it.
I won't mind.
No problem.
How about the pesticides? You said earlier that we're not using the same kind that we used to. Is there a spray or something that you can bomb your house, like when your dog brings home fleas?
Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. You know, just letting off a pesticide in your house will typically not solve your problems. But, you know, there are some things you can apply in the home that will help. You just want to make sure you follow the labeled directions because they're there for your safety and protection.
Okay. So you're saying that we should have a professional
Absolutely.
do it?
If you can contact a knowledgeable professional, that's definitely the way to go.
Okay. We have a lot of people who have ask us some questions, the most frequently asked questions of either you or Dr. Rob. So I want to start with a few of those. We're going to do this throughout the show, so if I don't answer your question right away, don't worry about it. This one comes and it says, is it true that bed bugs can live up to a year in your house or your clothes? Oh, please tell me no. Please.
Absolutely. The lifespan of a bed bug is suggested to be about a year in ideal situations.
Oh.
But the trick of that is that they can actually go up to a year without feeding and be completely fine.
Really?
Yes. And so vacating your home is not going to solve your problems, unfortunately. It's disgusting. It's creepy.
That wasn't the answer I wanted. Okay, here's another one. Can bed bug bites get infected? Do they scar? And is there any way to avoid that? Dr. Rob, I assume that's for you.
You know, sometimes they can become infected, and we've seen that. Certain people heal, and it leaves a little scar. So, I mean, just a couple weeks ago, we saw this college girl who came back, and she had an extra roommate, which was the bed bugs, and her arm really was loaded with these bites, and she does have a little bit of scarring. So that's why we want to try to help you as soon as we identify the bites, try to decrease the bites.
Okay, and this last question for this segment is to Jeff. How often do bed bugs reproduce? Do I want to know the answer to this?
Basically, once they're adults and the female is, you know, inseminated, she can lay eggs, you know, as she needs to. As long as she's getting food, she can lay eggs. And so they can reproduce a lot. 3 to 5 eggs a day is the number that people are saying.
Oh, this show just gets better and better. Okay, so let's say you see these bed bugs in your home, your apartment, or on your clothes or in your suitcase. What do you do? Well, we're going to have some more suggestions on what you should be doing, and we're going to meet a woman whose overnight trip to her daughter's graduation turned into a bed bug nightmare, one that still stays with her even today. So you stay with us to hear that.